Hiko, if you fought Tim in real life, who would win?
Looking how good he is in video games, I guarantee he cannot fight for anything in his life.
Ooh.
Other than maybe like, I don't know. We're not going to go there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show, presented by Cash App. This is one of those episodes where we say it's special, but unlike when we have people like Cloaks here, TimtheTatman on, this is actually special because we have our brand new, newest member. It's kind of redundant here, 400 Thieves, the face of 100 Thieves Valorant.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt. It sounded like you said 400 Thieves because you said 4 and then 100 Thieves. It's just 100 Thieves.
Oh,
not that anybody need any clarification. I just figured I'd jump in.
We're not 400 Thieves. We haven't gotten to that much funding yet. We're 100 Thieves still. Hiko is here. Congratulations. The man himself. You see him there? It's raw Hiko. It's what we love. Look at that. This fool's holding a head glitch.
This is my private jet. This is my my sandbox stream. This is
wow.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, it is definitely a green screen.
Our editors can probably put you into a private jet back where you belong.
I mean, we can just say it's the 100 Thieves private jet from this point on. I'm fine with that.
I think we got one of those somewhere. Or as we saw today, it was the actual CouRage and Nadeshot Show set that you had on on your stream for a bit. So
yes,
you were more in the set than we've been since this whole thing started. But I know we talked a little bit before this, but congratulations again, brother, on the announcement. It seemed like everyone's super excited. Are you hyped? Are you hyped? It's finally out there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely, we've been working on it for a while now. Honestly, it's been a back and forth thing, so I'm super excited to be here. I think 100 Thieves is one of those organizations that is newer, but it's already kind of legendary. So it feels really nice and really cool to be here, and I'm super excited to prove my worth once again.
Wow, there it is. I mean, well, shit. I think I
can't wait to poke some holes in that. I'm gonna ask some questions.
Good, Matt.
Well, first and foremost, I feel like everyone needs. If you don't know who Hiko is. Let me give you just a little background information. He's a former CSGO pro. He played for Complexity, Team Liquid, Cloud9, some of the biggest organizations in North America. And he's the newly appointed team captain. Oh my God. I need some water. Holy shit.
I'm glad that makes me choke,
No. Listen. No. Come on. We're not even going to start the memes. Not yet. Listen, Hiko, I've actually been a big fan of yours for a while. Now, I didn't follow competitive CSGO for a very long time. I mean, I was in and out of the community, especially when I was playing it. I was definitely following along. But you've just been like a household name for me that I've seen bouncing back and forth from team to team. And I'm actually so glad that you found your place in Valorant. And because I've seen you play it a ton. I even played with you during the beta. And some of the things that you pull off are just absolutely unbelievable. So, guys, for everyone watching at home, I'm so excited to have Hiko on the podcast, and I'm even more excited to have him join 100 Thieves. We truly believe that he is going to move this organization in the right direction, building a team around a veteran with this much experience in the esports community, from a game sense standpoint, a mechanical standpoint. I really think it's the perfect foundation for the future of our team. And we'll talk about Valorant more as we get into this podcast, but I just wanted to give a short introduction and say congratulations, man. Congratulations to us, dude, because I'm so damn excited to see what we do together.
Hey, listen, Hiko, I expect 10 trophies.
Whoa!
By the end of 2021.
What are the chances? You 11. What if I get you 11?
Damn. Well, shit. And you got 5 times as many as 100 Thieves has so far. So.
Yeah. Listen. Under promise and over deliver, bro. See, like, don't set expectations. I mean, I've set expectations many times before, and it's always shot me in the foot.
Good. No, so this is super exciting to have you on the show. Before we get into the deep dive of Hiko, do want to just quickly mention that we are filming this in. We had another episode filmed that will be coming out soon. But we also realized that I think it would be a poor decision to put it out with how much has changed in the world in the last week. As you guys know, there's been the extremely important and necessary and long overdue Black Lives Matter movement that's been going on after the death of the murder, really, of George Floyd. And as we record this right now, we are still in this change, this moment of change that is much needed in this country and overall in the world. So just wanted to quickly, bring that up and mention how proud I am to be part of 100 Thieves, who has gone out and shared their voice and 100 Thieves stance alongside all the other incredible employees of 100 Thieves. Matt, I know you've shared your voice and your thoughts on social media, and I think it's super important to do when you have a platform in a time like this, because we have such young viewers. So proud of 100 Thieves for the donations they've made to the NAACP Legal Fund, the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and I'm sure there'll be links in the description as well as on screen of where you can go and make a difference, because it's more than just posting on social media. You got to donate to the causes, support Black-owned businesses, and educate yourself on what it means to be part of this change. So I think it's something that's super important. I know I was helping bring people to and from protests as well as take part in what's going on here in Los Angeles. So proud of 100 Thieves, and really looking forward to seeing the change that's so needed in this country. So wanted to make sure we quickly mentioned that as we got into today's show. Hiko, if you fought Tim in real life, who would win? Because I think you could beat his ass.
I feel like if nothing else, I have a little bit of hair he can grab onto. He has no hair I can grab onto. So just by that, maybe he has the advantage. Now, looking how good he is in video games, I guarantee he cannot fight for anything in his life. Ooh. Other than maybe I don't know. We're not going to go there. But yeah, I don't think he can fight. I don't think he can play video games. I think he can't aim. Wow. There's a lot of things he can't do. Wow. So I don't think fighting is something he can do either.
Wow. Damn.
Those are strong words. Let me ask you this, Hiko. Where did the meme that Tim always circulates and always mentions and is always talking about it on his stream, that he used to carry you in CSGO? Was there any moment in time where you and TimtheTatman physically teamed together when he always talks about, oh, I was playing with Dizzy, I was semi-pro, we were about to qualify for this event, and he talks about his prowess and his skill sets in CSGO. Can you explain to me where that stems from and how you guys have gotten into it with each other on CSGO?
Yeah, so I mean, him and I played together when he was a little baby streamer, I was the bigger streamer back then. He was the 500 viewer guy. Ooh. And somebody kind of just came in my chat and was like, yo, play with this terrible, funny, loud, obnoxious streamer. I'm like, all right, we try playing, and he was funny, and we're kind of like the yin and the yang. I'm like the quiet, calm. I kind of like instigating. Tim is like the opposite. He's loud, obnoxious, funny, but also is very easy to instigate. So we had this kind of banter that went along for probably, I think we streamed almost every single day together for 2 years straight.
Holy shit.
And, I'm pretty sure in 2 full years, I don't think I remember Tim ever being not on the bottom. Okay, that's okay. He was definitely not on the bottom every single game, but he was on the bottom most of the time. I think he did end up playing with Dizzy. Honestly, all jokes aside, I think he actually did end up playing on some kind of semi-professional team with Dizzy. I don't think they took it very seriously. I don't think they ever actually accomplished anything. But it's kind of third string quarterback. He was kind of on the roster. Did he play? Maybe a couple times. Did he really have any? Did he have any impact? Realistically, probably not. So
wow,
this is good to know. I feel like we had to get that out in the air so that I have ammunition for Tim when he ever tries to. The thing I like about Tim and playing with him, especially now in Warzone, is that he understands his place. He knows that I'm better than him at the game. And so he's always having arguments with Cloaksy and Symphony about who's better and yada, yada, yada. But he knows when we're playing together what the fucking deal is. And I love that. It's like a younger brother trying to play up to his older brother when you and him banter back and forth. I had no idea that you guys played that much together in the past. So it makes a ton of sense because I had a blast playing with you guys in the beta of Valorant. But hearing this timeline and this story, it now has completed the circle. And now we know Tim's a fucking bot. We got it.
That's all we need.
He is a bot. He has been a bot, and he always will be a bot. That's the thing about Tim.
Hey, listen, man. You're already representing 100 Thieves
Really well.
better than you could have I could have ever imagined.
Yeah, forget the championships. You don't need them.
Right.
No, man, it's been crazy, and I think right now, streaming. You mentioned streaming and viewership and stuff. Are you? Would you say right now you're like who streams with just as many viewers as you? Because I've seen you everywhere at the top of the Valorant directory. Would you say you're top 3, top 5 Valorant streamers in following right now, or in average viewership?
I would say so, with the asterisk that it's probably specifically English speakers. I know there's some I think some French guys, and there's some Europeans for sure that get some crazy viewership. But as far as a consistent Valorant streamer, I stream pretty much 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have since the day the beta was released. I would say that it's probably safe to say I'm in the top 3 for English speakers.
Wow, that's insane, man. That is insane.
Yeah, and I mean, if you compare it to when literally like 2 months ago, right, from Counter-Strike, I don't want to say I was a nobody, but my streaming career and Counter-Strike in general was just terrible to stream, and so this kind of just like the new game gave me more motivation to stream again.
Yeah,
kind of like resurrected my whole Twitch channel, and it's kind of just taken off from there. So I'm super appreciative of everything.
Yeah, I love the climb, and in my mind, it happened really quickly as well. And that's what an astronomical climb, and it must feel great too, because now you're a part of an organization. Do you think, in your mind, content creation and streaming will ever get in the way of you being a pro player? Have you thought about that? Because I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and I have even more questions about Valorant, which will probably play into this answer. So I'm going to stop there for now. And I want to ask you, what is the Valorant player pool looking like right now? It's like, I think the biggest shock that people saw, they knew that CSGO players were going to come and play Valorant, right? But you had that guy Sinatra come over from Overwatch, who was supposed to be the #1 player in the world, and a team signed him before they even saw him play the game, right? So you have a bunch of different players coming over from Overwatch, some from Fortnite, CSGO. What do you think the skill set looks like right now in terms of experience and mechanical skill, and just the overall, the top of the echelon, the up and the up? Who's the best right now?
Well, I think it's interesting if you actually think about it and look at it from a high level. We'll say even a few weeks ago, the CSGO guys were way ahead. Like, it wasn't even really a competition. I was watching some scrims between the top teams. Now, I mean, I was playing in a lot of the Twitch Rivals tournaments and all the tournaments that were throughout the beta, and it felt like the CS players were so far ahead. And in my mind, it seemed like, how can anybody ever catch up? These mechanics and these strategies and these tactics that we're thinking of, and the way we think is so much different than an Overwatch player or a PUBG player or a Fortnite player.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually go as far as saying that within the last 3 weeks or even month, a lot of these players have caught up. A lot of them they're not as sharp mechanically, and they're not as sharp mentally as the CS players. I think that's something that will just come with time. But I think as far as like pure aim goes and game sense and ability usage, I think everyone's kind of catching up. I still think the CS guys are a little bit ahead. I still think that from what I've seen, as recent as yesterday, the CS guys definitely seem like they have that like little extra timing about them where, maybe players of a different game won't understand. So for instance, as a competitive 5v5 player, you have to think about where everyone is on the map. And a Counter-Strike player will know and is always constantly thinking about that. Maybe, a Fortnite player, Ninja's out here building houses and, trying to make sure he's trying to make sure he doesn't die. Meanwhile, that's not even a thing in my mind. Like, I'm always thinking about the next move. I'm always thinking about where positionally on the map people are, where we should be, what we should be doing. And I think it's just that little difference right there goes a long way, but it's not as the gap is not as big as it was for sure. So I guess the TLDR is players are definitely catching up. CS players are still moderately ahead, but I think that hopefully by the time and realistically by the time the first, major league or major tournament comes out, a lot of these players will probably have caught up, if not surpassed them even.
I think that's really interesting you say it, because if anyone followed Valorant when beta was starting, it was like a mass like kind of exodus from other esports of, as it was said, whether it was, the players from Overwatch League, players from Fortnite, players from CS, that all were saying, hey, I'm leaving behind my game for a bit to give Valorant a try. And for a lot of people, it was like, wow, they stand no chance, or it doesn't, they're not going to stack up against CS players in this. Do you think now, compared to that, like, did you almost agree with that more back then? And then do you think now people who've switched have a better chance of seeing success than you maybe originally thought?
Hold up, and real quick before you answer that, that's the biggest fucking hydro flask I have ever seen. Let me see that thing real quick.
That?
Holy shit.
It's a half a gallon. I got to drink 2 of these a day and I'm good.
Hey, I like that. Okay, all right. Sorry to interrupt. I saw it out of the corner of your private jet. I had to say something.
Yeah, no problem.
Look at that.
I'm a thirsty dude. I gotta stay hydrated.
Okay, all right.
I love it.
So to answer your question, I definitely bought into that mentality. I probably was one of the initial pushers of that. Oh, it's an Overwatch player. Don't be afraid of him. Or, oh, it's a PUBG player. What do you have to lose? Like, peek him. He's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
But I think to continue that mindset and to just completely dismiss somebody from another game, especially now when a lot of these players have been playing nonstop as much as some of these CS guys, if not more than some of the CS guys on a daily basis. These Overwatch players, these PUBG players, these Apex players, these Fortnite players, even there, everyone's putting in countless hours. Everyone's putting in the effort to try to be a top player and to try to get on a top team. So I think it's definitely a little too dismissive and probably arrogant to just be like, nah, they're a PUBG player, they're just going to be bad, or they played Fortnite, how can they possibly be good? Because I've seen my fair share of PUBG and Fortnite and Apex and Overwatch players that they're actually pretty sick at the game. So yeah, I don't think that stigma is as it's even fair to even have anymore. So
yeah, so I don't know how much of this you talk about on stream, but for me, I've obviously been a part of a pro community, and I feel like pro players, the communication and it's kind of like high school, right? Where all the popular kids, they all know what the other popular kids are doing, and it's very cliquey, right, at the beginning. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at is I feel like streamers don't talk about players enough on stream, right? You guys probably have your own Discords where you're just talking about which players are good, which players are bad. And I don't know if it's just addressed enough. So I'm curious, who's the best fucking player in the game right now? Like, in your opinion, that is not you. Who is the number one player that, man, he just got me again? Or fuck, man, every single time he gets timing on me. Like, who would you say is like a top 3 right now?
Top 3, I would say, are probably Brax, Tens, and maybe like Ace, just as far as like his mechanical and just raw skill.
Damn.
I think, there's a lot of people. I think those are definitely the most talked about people. Those are the people that I get asked about the most on stream. Those are people that I think are, probably have the most individual or possible or even raw talent. Brax was definitely an accomplished CS player. He was my teammate in 2013, so I've known him forever. I have a lot of respect for him. He was the young kid coming up when I was, playing on his team. Tens is kind of like the up and coming kid who, had promise in CS and decided to switch to Valorant. And Ace is kind of like the tried, played pro CS, went to play Apex, and now he's playing this game. So I think all 3 of them have really strong backgrounds, and all 3 of them are very talented and, very gifted in this game for sure. You play against them compared to your average nade shot, they're gonna bang your head. Sorry, I should have said Tim. Why did I just saw your
damn. Hey, you forget who the CEO is,
yeah,
huh?
man, my bad.
God damn.
All right, well,
he
let me
makes
ask you
one
this.
phone call and shit.
Jesus Christ, dude! How did I just become a target? Look,
I remember those
biggest,
games.
Who's the biggest disappointment?
Ooh.
Who are you most surprised by their lack of ability to pick the game up so far?
I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be surprising. TimtheTatman.
Oh my God!
I knew you were going with that.
No. We're not copping out. All right, let me ask you this:
Okay.
which community that's transitioned over to the game has been the worst? That's taken the longest to catch on?
Fortnite.
He goes,
I think.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean it's a completely different game. It's like third person. You got to build. I get it, but
Yeah.
okay. All right.
I just think that it's probably just not even fair to even say Fortnite. I think, like I said, any game that's not a competitive 5v5 that you don't have to think about the small intricacies that we as CS:GO or I guess just CS in general players have had for I've been playing Counter-Strike since 2002. So these are things that I've been working on for 18 years of my life. So how can somebody from a game I know a lot of players have also actually tried to play CS and they have some Counter-Strike experience, whether that's high level or low level. A lot of the PUBG pros, a lot of the Apex pros, even the Fortnite pros, a lot of them did try to play CS. They dabbled in CS. So, but yeah, I think that all those games, like their mentality and the way they think, and even a game like Overwatch, where it's still kind of like an FPS and it's 6v6, so it's kind of similar. The things you think about are just not anywhere near Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, when people were starting to play Valorant, I remember if they had no Counter-Strike experience, it was night and day on what their abilities were to start off on the game. Hiko, I have a pretty juicy question for you that I want to get into, but and for people listening out there, it's about potentially how you could become a member of 100 Thieves. So you'll want to stay tuned. I want to quickly show some love to our sponsors here for the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. First off, Cash App. As you guys know, the show is brought to you by Cash App. If you don't use Cash App, then fuck you, as we've now coined here on the show. If you aren't following Cash App on Twitch, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities to win free cash. Cash App hosts cash giveaways all the time on their Twitch channel, so be sure to stay up to date for when they go live to see great content as well as win free cash. You may even see some of your own favorite 100 Thieves creators up there, twitch.tv/Cash App. And then the one that we always love to talk about every single week is Cash App continues to work with the Gamers Outreach Foundation. When you sign up for Cash App using the promo code THIEVES, THIEVES, you can go ahead and when you sign up, you get $10, and they'll also donate $10 to the Gamers Outreach Foundation, which is an amazing organization that provides video games to kids dealing with long-term treatment in hospitals. So we love the Gamers Outreach Foundation. We love Cash App. So make sure you do that when you download Cash App from the Google Play or App Store today. But Matt, as you know, we've gotten to a point where Cash App isn't our only proud sponsor that we've been showing love to on the show. We've also got Chipotle, and your ass is still eating it every single day. I see your tacos as well as
Chipotle every day. Listen, I talk about this on stream. I talk about this in every episode of the damn podcast, guys. I literally eat Chipotle every single day. I did that even before they paid 100 Thieves to represent their restaurant. I literally eat it every day. So shout out to Chipotle. These guys keep me fed every day. And in May, I can guarantee I ain't stopping in June. Wait, I like that. I haven't seen this one yet. Guys, take advantage of their $1 delivery now up until June 10th. You can get your favorite burrito, bowl, or chips and guac delivered to your door for $1. It's a no-brainer. $1 delivery fee? God damn. Hold up, bro. Shit. Am I using the wrong app? Shit.
you might be. That's obviously through the Chipotle app. And then also make sure you follow @Chipotle Tweets on Twitter, twitch.tv/Chipotle. Download the Chipotle app and sign up for Chipotle rewards to get more. You can completely customize your digital order. So if you want extra roasted chili corn salsa, as I typically do with light sour cream, Chipotle makes it that easy to do that. So major shout out to Chipotle and Cash App. But Hiko, the question I was going to have for you is this, because when it comes to the 100 Thieves Valorant team, I know nothing. Okay. You might have info, Matt might have info, I'm sure, and the people working behind the scenes. But as a fan, without leaking anything, do you have a vision for the lineup or for who you'd want to play with? And then also maybe if there's open spots or potential for people to be able to kind of make some waves, what would you look for in a player to potentially have them be your new teammate for Valorant?
Yeah, so I've definitely been working with Milk. I don't know if
Yep.
Jacob
you know who
Toft
he is.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, Jacob. I've definitely been working with him to kind of come up with like a list of people that are people we're interested in, people I've been talking to, people I've been playing with. I've been sitting in scrims lately, trying to figure out who is the best possible people who has the most potential, who I think we get along with, who would even fit the brand as much as everyone. So we definitely have some thoughts on who to get. As far as open spots, I mean, I don't think nothing is decided. So as far as now, I mean, there's definitely open spots. I would say probably DMing me is not the best thing. Today alone, today alone, I've probably gotten about 1,000 DMs about, oh, hey, you're looking for you're looking for Valorant players. Like, here's my whole resume. I'm like, I literally have 1,000 DMs today about it.
You left your DMs open?
Unfortunately.
Wow, rookie mistake.
Yeah. So
What is wrong with you, brother?
I'm going to have to go ahead and fix that right now. But yeah, I think the thing that I am looking for, or we are looking for, and the thing that most teams are looking for is a willingness to improve and a willingness to take criticism, because it's really hard to try to make a long-term team with people who can't take criticism. I'd say just like be naturally talented at the game, have that desire, have that drive, want to be better. And I mean, realistically, if you're trying to be a pro, probably have to be pretty good at the game that you want to be a pro in. And I'd probably say the third thing that people look for the most is just, you don't have to be super outgoing and super friendly, but the nicer you are as a person, I'm trying to say, try not to be like typical gamer, like, kind of shut in, doesn't really talk to anybody. Like, you have to network. It's literally like the number one thing about pretty much anything in life is you have to network. You have to make friends. And
look,
I'm sure you can talk about that.
Yeah, I just want to be clear and set the expectations, because this is the number one question I think every streamer who's been a professional player has ever gotten ever in the eternity of the internet is, how can I become a pro player? Or how can I join your team? Look, man, what Hiko just said is what's really important. It's all about networking. Basically, there's an aggregate of players that are already considered to be the best players in the game, and they're all talking to each other every single day about who's teaming with who, what organization they're going to sign with. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be really difficult for you to crack in to that upper echelon and that group of players that is in that circle. Really, the only thing that you're going to, if I were sitting in your shoes right now and you think that you're the best player in the game and that you need to be on one of these teams, as soon as ranked play comes out, you better go kick the living shit out of Hiko or Brax or the players on the other team in solo queue, or find some boys and go beat the fuck out of them, because that's the only way. It's the only way. Yep. I mean, the ranked play, from what I've seen in Valorant and the MMR, it actually does a pretty damn good job of getting the players to the top. You know what I mean? It's like, if you go look at League of Legends, some of the best players, they're like number one in Challenger. And I feel like Riot, from a competitive integrity standpoint, they always do a pretty good job in their matchmaking of floating the best players to be playing with the best players, especially during the beta and hopefully now into the full game. Hiko, would you say that's correct?
Definitely.
Don't DM Hiko, please.
I literally just turned them off as you were speaking.
Yes.
I checked again. I had 89 more in the last like 10 minutes. So, okay.
Done.
Yeah, no, I think what you said is 100% correct. And I think there's also a right way and a wrong way of doing it. Like, you don't want to go in there and, if you're playing against me or Brax or anybody that you think is, gives you a chance to make it. I get a lot of people that will literally kill me and just start teabagging me, or kill me and just like talk, like not even like banter, like actually try to insult me as they're killing me. And it's like, dude, like you're not really anybody, and you're obviously out here grinding a lot. You're in Valorant rank, and you're sitting here talking mess. Like, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot to even have a chance at being pro. So, I mean, obviously there's people who break that mold, but for the most part, like, you know, you're especially once you get up to that high level, that top level, everyone talks. Like Matt said, everyone knows each other. Everyone's talking about each other. You may think you have a chance, but if you've been like, you know, if you've been really toxic and people don't want to play with you, you're not going to get on a team. That's just how it works. It's the nature of like society, right? Like if you're not liked and if people actually hate you, chances are they're not going to want to be in a team with you, and they'd rather take the guy that's been nice and that's, you know, equal skill than the guy who's been, you know, the jerk and doesn't want anything to do with you.
Yeah. So you've obviously played CS:GO for 18 years. That's what I had to read for your. I mean, is 18 years is a long ass time.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, when I played Valorant, I felt like the hitboxes were fucking random as hell. Like sometimes I swear to God, I'd be clicking on somebody's head, wouldn't get a headshot. Other time I shoot somebody in the neck, shouldn't have been a headshot, get a headshot. I see a lot of people complaining about that. With the full release of the game, have you seen any tweaks to the actual hitboxes or the mechanics of the game? And do you think it's generally moving in a positive direction?
Yes. So right before the game got out of beta, they made an update to the actual recoil patterns. So the Vandal is actually now easier to control when you're spraying, and some other guns like the Ares is easier to control. Who really cares? I think they made the Vandal. They made both the Vandal and Phantom easier to tap too. So like, you know, like clicking once and burst, like tap shooting. I'm sure you probably know what that means.
Yeah.
They made that easier to do too. Like the recoil recovery is faster, which makes it feel more like CS. And then as far as the hitboxes go as well, they said, and I actually agree that it feels like it as well, that they tightened the hitboxes up, because it did feel random sometimes. It did feel like sometimes you were on their head, especially in the beta, and it just like wouldn't register. Like you'd be way off of them and somehow you just catch a random headshot. So it does feel like they tightened it up a bit, and it's feeling more and more like Counter-Strike, which, you know, obvious bias here. I like when it feels more like Counter-Strike. It feels less random. So yeah, definitely the hitboxes they improved on, and definitely the recoil. It feels more rewarding to, you know, run around tapping and like bursting than it did before.
Yeah, I remember my first thing was, it felt like at times in the beta, we talked about it, where it almost felt like getting a one tap in CS, even after having, I think I have like 800 something hours in CS, was, I mean, it still felt so like rewarding. And I'd get a one tap and be like, hell yeah, I got a one tap. Like, fuck yeah, that was like a cool thing. Whereas like in Valorant, I remember playing and I was like, that kind of felt really easy to just one shot that guy, like to hit the hitbox. And I felt like it was giving you for the, like everything from like the shoulders up half the damn time. And it felt weird, but I know they've made changes. I've only played a few games on the, only played a few games towards the end of the beta. So I have not played since launch yet, since it came out a couple days ago, but I definitely want to give it more of a shot. I think the tough thing for me is viewership is just not there on YouTube for Valorant. It feels, for at least on my stream. I have a Warzone audience, sure, and a Fortnite audience, and now try to grow a GTA audience. But like when Valorant came out, it was that big shiny thing. Granted, we didn't have drops, which is a whole different subject with how crazy that was for Twitch. But like my first day in Valorant, I had like 3,500 viewers compared to where I was averaging 10 to 15,000 for Warzone, and that was on launch day. So I can only imagine how much weaker it would have gotten after launch day. So that's just why I haven't played it that much. I enjoy the game, sure, but not enough for me to be like, all right, I'm gonna hemorrhage my YouTube audience just to grind some Valorant. It's a tough thing that I think as a creator, I'm sure you know about too, where it's like, I mean, you play a lot of WoW. I think you play a lot of WoW, right? Or have in the past? Yeah,
I
like
used to, yeah.
Bro, if there's one thing you know, it's like you'd switch the WoW category and your viewership would go down by like 80%, no matter who you were half the damn time, it felt like. So that's kind of where I've been with Valorant. Like I want to play it more, but at the same time, I just can't justify it. I can't. It's tough.
Yeah. Hiko, when do you think teams will settle out? When do you think, I mean, because T1, right? T1, they just finished their team with Skadoodle, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that overall roster? And when do you think we'll see? Because I know TSM signed a full team, which I was surprised that more people weren't talking about it. Obviously, they've been around esports for a very long time, and I don't doubt the fact that they know what they're doing. I hadn't heard of those players in the past, which I don't mean that in a disrespectful way at all. But I'm just curious if you think the landscape of other teams and the competition and the rosters that are being built. What is your overall take on where North America sits? I know somebody was in my mentions complaining about the fact that European teams haven't signed anybody. When do you think what the right time will be to add other players to our roster? I'm just curious what you think about the overall ecosystem right now.
Yeah, it's it's kind of weird to think about because the game literally just was released 3 days ago. So from the time of this recording, so like, it's been in beta. There's been a lot of people who's played it a lot. There's been a lot of people who want to play it that haven't had a chance to play it even. So I think it was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to T1 signing players. People, orgs like TSM and even Genji are coming out and they sign these full rosters within the first few weeks of the game even being in beta, and it's like, you're taking a pretty huge risk signing a full team that early in a game where everything can change in almost at a moment's notice. What if they make a big operator nerf and you have like a really good operator, like a good op user on your team, like, and that guy is just useless after, but what if they did it right when the game was released? Like it to me, it didn't really make sense that people were signing so early. And I think that this is going to be kind of the challenge moving forward, is when do you actually pull the trigger and say, okay, now is the time to build a team. Now is the time to commit to these certain players. Because I don't think anyone has that answer when the right time is. It's all a feel. It's all about who, it's always going to be a risk. It's just, I think that before now and even before, whenever it was a bigger risk. So as far as when we should be looking to add players, I think it's just an extension of what I said. I think it depends on which players emerge as looking like they're going to be good players in the long run, and which players are looking like they have the motivation, they have the hunger to succeed, they have the right mindset, they have the right personality to work. And I think the whole other side of that is, even if these teams aren't going to be good in the long run, because they've been together so much in the short term, they're going to be better than everybody else. The Genjis and the TSMs, like whether they're going to be a top team in the long term or not, we don't know. But you can pretty much guarantee they're going to be a top team in the short term because, well, they're practicing a lot. They've been a roster for a while. They played Counter-Strike together way back in the day. So it's a hard thing to tackle. And obviously, me and Malk and everyone else is working on it, and we're trying to decide when the right team, who the right players are, and when is the right time to, like I said, pull that trigger. But it's definitely hard. It's definitely something you have to think about, and it's something you kind of, you have to decide when it's the right time to take that risk.
Okay, that's good. That's fair. I like that.
Very fair. Very fair. Hiko, and I know we've talked so much about Valorant, but that is kind of the whole hype around this. I think for a lot of people too, is seeing 100 Thieves dive into it. So coming from a game like Counter-Strike, where there's been so much talk in the past, and part of why they have a pro player, association of oversaturation of tournaments, and there's always so much going on, and people get burned out. It's so much travel, but then you also have these franchised leagues, and I'm sure there's an expectation that Riot will go towards that one day down the road with Valorant. In your opinion, what do you think would be the success for Valorant esports? Is it a mix of both? Is it the full franchise? What would you want to see Valorant, really thrive?
I think initially it's important that the scene is open. I think in order to build a organic community in not only America, but also Europe, Asia, or wherever else, I think it's going to be very important to have an open circuit. And I think they've already kind of said that they're going to be having an open circuit initially. Now, what that's going to allow is, organizations like just Counter-Strike organizations that I don't know are going to run their tournaments, not, but like an ESL or like a Faceit, if they're going to run their own tournaments, some of those ESL and Faceit tournaments in Counter-Strike actually turned out better than some of the majors that Valve ran themselves. So we're going to have high quality tournaments, and I'm sure Riot will step in eventually and be, offer help and offer, have some kind of guidelines or minimal requirements for actual tournaments to be ran. But I do think that initially having an open tournament or an open scene is going to be the most important thing. I do kind of like the idea of having a franchise league eventually. However, and the big asterisk again is now that Counter-Strike has gone into a franchise league, system and a franchise circuit, and it feels like if you're not in this franchise, you're nobody. You have no chance. No one's, you're not getting a salary. There's no like the academy teams, like that's not a thing in Counter-Strike right now. So if you're not in either of the two big leagues, you're a nobody. You're not making money. You're essentially wasting your time unless your goal is to just like hope that you're going to get on one of their franchise leagues. So I think if Riot is going to, close it off and do the kind of legal legend structure, I think that they're probably best handled to do it just because of they have the experience from league. So they're going to have an academy team. They're going to have a way that you can get into the I don't know the exact terms for the league scene, but I don't know if it's called challenger or whatever it's called.
Academy.
Is it
Yeah.
So okay, so it is the academy. So yeah, so there is like a specific route you can take where hey, if you win through the academy leagues, then maybe you get that pro spot, or again whatever the LCS spot, whatever it's called in league. And like I said, that's not how it is in Counter-Strike. So I think if Riot is going to eventually close off the ecosystem and run it all themselves, they have to, use what they learned from League. And, I was watching the Valorant announce thing with like ESPN was interviewing a bunch of the actual devs and the head of esports from Riot and all a bunch of big people. And they said themselves like they're planning on using what they learned from League and taking that to Valorant to not make the same mistake. So I think that sounds good. I personally am not against that. I know there's a lot of people that are against it, but I can see it working. I can see it, if they're going to franchise it, and as long as they have a clear route for semi-pros to actually have a chance, I think it probably will be successful.
I feel like this entire podcast is about Valorant, and I'm going to ask you, and I want you to be honest with me. Seriously.
Ooh.
And this is going to sound silly, but I want to ask it.
Okay.
With the amount of hours you're putting into Valorant, do you enjoy it?
I knew that was going to be coming. Yes, absolutely.
You played CSGO for so long. I mean, it's like, look, dude, if I were in your position and I had an opportunity for an organization to pay me a lot of money and for a ton of people to watch me play this game, I would do it in a heartbeat, even if I was fucking miserable. But it's like, I could play Valorant a couple hours a day, and even probably more than that, depending on who I'm playing with. But I know it with the same maps that I was playing in the beta, it was redundant, and there were frustrations that I would have when I'm playing a team that really understands the agents that they've picked, and it's like climbing fucking Mount Everest just to take a bomb site. You know what I mean? And that part was frustrating for me. And I guess that was the same for CSGO though too as well. But just in terms of the game and how it flows and how it plays and the new maps that have come out with the official release, are you having fun?
Yes, I am definitely having fun.
Good. Okay. Thank God. Thank God.
I think it's safe to say that like my mentality and my the way I am as a person is I'm a grinder. I've been grinding Counter-Strike for this long, and I never even really stopped having fun with Counter-Strike. There were definitely times where I was like, okay, maybe it's time to get out of here and go do something else, like find something else with my life. Streaming wasn't really going well for me. Wasn't really enjoying myself, but I definitely think I'm having a lot of fun with Valorant. I definitely think that I'm enjoying streaming it. There's some days where I'm playing Valorant. I stream Valorant for 8 hours, then I'll go and hit up scrims with teams for 4 hours afterwards. So, I'm literally playing Valorant some days for 12, 13, 14 hours a day, and I still love it. And I don't dread waking up in the morning. I'm like, oh God, it's another 8 hours of streaming again, and then I got to play more. Like, no, I'm still enjoying it. It's still a new thing to me. I still enjoy thinking about the game, and I still I really enjoy just playing it in general. So yes, I do like the game.
Good. This is great fucking news. Now, do you think that your life, I mean, look, dude, I don't think it's something that you have to avoid, talking about. Obviously, I would hope that you think 100 Thieves pays you well now. Now that you're a contracted professional player, your stream is fucking killing it. And you said this has been a whirlwind. It's happened all in the past 2 months. So now I think you really earned some economic or some financial freedom. How do you think that's going to impact your life? And have you thought about all of the money that's coming in and what you're going to do with it and how it'll change your day to day or change your outlook on the rest of your career? I'm sure you've thought about it. Like, you got to be elated. You have to be fucking pumped. I mean, if I were in your position, I would be too. So what are your thoughts and what's been swirling around your head?
Yeah.
And listen, I want you to understand is that this topic now on
It's
YouTube
taboo for a lot of people.
and streaming, it's not taboo anymore. Like, you can talk about these things. I mean, I'll tell you how I'm feeling about the money I'm making. I'm just curious, as someone, it happened in a blink of an eye, right? And playing
Overnight,
CSGO
yeah.
for so long to now finally be like at the top of the top. It's got to feel fucking great, dude. What are you gonna buy?
I know what I'm buying. Shoot.
What are you buying, CouRage?
Don't deflect, Hiko. Don't listen.
Yeah,
man.
Okay,
pretty
okay.
ignorant, bro.
Honestly, I am somebody who I'm very frugal with my money. I actually don't spend it. Believe it or not, pretty much the majority of the money I've made from Counter-Strike, you know, I had, just to give you some backstory, I went to college for 5 years. I ended up dropping out of college. Probably my last semester. I was going to a Counter-Strike tournament, and the tournament was the same week of finals. And 2 of my professors out of 3 said, if you miss the final, you're going to fail the class. Like, you have no choice. I tried to reason with them. I tried to show them exactly what I was doing. I showed the pictures of my team, interviews. They didn't care. So I ended up leaving college like $40,000 in student loans and debt that I had to pay off, that I wasn't, I wasn't on a salaried team. I wasn't streaming at that time. So, early on in Counter-Strike, I wasn't making money. I was in debt. I was working a job that I ended up quitting right when I quit school too. So, I had this goal in my mind of being a professional player and making money. So, one of the teams I ended up joining gave me a big signing bonus to pay off my student loans. And I ended up buying a car, and that's been my I ended up selling that car and buying another car, and that's the only thing I really bought.
What are you whipping right now?
I drive a Grand Cherokee. I do want a Tesla though. I know you drive a Tesla, man. Are you used to?
Wait, you drive a Jeep and you always talking shit about Tim?
Yeah, Tim drives.
Grand Cherokees are dope though.
Tim
love
copied me.
Grand Cherokee. Yeah, he probably did. Grand Cherokees are dope though. But you want a Tesla?
I want the SUV Tesla, the Model X, I think it is.
Oh, well, you can afford it now, brother. I know that for a fact. The Model X is great, man. Yeah, I was in between the Model S and the Model X when I was making when I was gonna buy one. And the Model X, the only reason I didn't buy it was because I just had a SUV, and so I just wanted to go back to being lower to the ground. But the Model X is actually like technologically more advanced than the Model S in certain circumstances, right? Like, the doors on the entire car are automatic. They have that big the Falcon wing. There's a specific name for it. The windshield is crazy, bro. It's like you're in a spaceship. The windshield covers all the way around your view, your POV. So it feels like there's no top of the car. The Model X is dope. And if you were gonna get that, Nadeshot approved, dude. That I think that'd be a good.
I'd approve as well. So
I mean, if you want to buy me one, I
think
dog,
you did.
You could buy that shit yourself.
No, yeah, but no. Just to wrap it up, I don't spend my money. Like, I invest it. I do that thing. I'm the smart person. Smart. I have a dog. That's like the only other thing I bought. And yeah, I spoil my dog. I spoil my dog a lot. That's my child now, and that's
what type of dog?
Life. He's a golden labradoodle, so he's half golden doodle, half labradoodle.
Oh, that's the dog that. Oh, okay. Those are the best dogs, dude. What's his name or her name?
His name is Sammy.
I like Sammy. What about the egirls, Hiko?
What about him?
I mean, I'm sure you got girls banging your line 24/7. Them DMs were open, brother. I know.
Yeah, I definitely did not read my Twitter DMs for a long time because it was filled with a lot of angry people from Counter-Strike, a lot of angry bettors, angry stream watchers.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I'm at the age now. You know, I just turned 30 a few months ago already, so I think I'm at that age where I don't really care. It's not my life anymore. Like definitely when I was younger, I might have entertained something like that, but now it's like, you know, I'm not trying to say, "Oh, I want a girlfriend. I'm trying to settle down. Let's find me a wife and let's have some kids." But you know, realistically, like I am not willing to risk my career or risk my focus on a internet girl or whatever e-girl stands for.
Hey, bro,
Electronic girl.
It was a trick question the whole time, dude. You weren't allowed to have a girlfriend anyways.
Okay.
We had it redlined in your contract, dude. You
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Okay.
I actually got a pay cut when I got a girlfriend, Eco. So
That's
it's
true.
been, you know, actually.
Was it worth it?
Uh,
You better have the right answer for that
well,
one.
considering my girlfriend's about
She ain't gonna
20
watch
feet
it.
to the right. Yeah, it was really worth it. No, of
These
course.
walls aren't that
Of
thin.
course. Yeah, no, of course, man. No, that's I feel you on that though. I kind of definitely have the same answer. I mean, Maddie, for example, has no ties to gaming, and you know has none of that. Didn't even know who I was for my following at all. She just knew me through mutual friends as just Jack instead of being that loud a man child who plays cartoon video games for a living. So yeah, I feel that, bro. It's an exciting time though. You know, the idea of like no distraction, especially when you have such a grind. Like for me, finding that balance is so key right now. Do you think that you're just like, this is my one goal? I'm doing the 8 hours a day. Like, are you on a health grind still, or are you just like pure Valorant, watching what I eat, kind of just going in, and just that's all your time right now?
I mean, I'm kind of like I've been called a machine of consistency. So my daily life is very similar every day. You know, I wake up. If I wake up early randomly, I'll work out before stream. Otherwise, I stream, I work out, I eat, and then I have free time. Which a lot of time in the free time, I'm either playing Valorant or I'm responding to emails or you know I'm doing business stuff.
Yeah.
So that's literally my life. I don't really, I don't, you know, steer off of that. That's what I do. You know, I know which hours I'm free. I know when I, you know, could make time for somebody if I needed to. But yeah, other than that, like I'm very good at blocking out my time and blocking out my schedule, and I feel like I have good time management. So I think it's a good thing. Not very fun because I'm very predictable, but I guess that's I'm not complaining, and no one complains about it, so I'm fine with that.
Hey, consistency is key, man, in this industry as well. It's like people ask me how they can blow up or how they can get started as a streamer or see success. That's one of my first answers. Consistency is key. You've got to collaborate, or as you mentioned, the networking side. You got to be unique, give people a reason to watch. So that I think that's why you have the continued success that you've seen. If I could ask, if someone's now watching you for the first time, or maybe there's someone watching this and they're a long-time viewer, what is something that people might not know about you that you think people would find interesting?
Two things.
Okay.
Ooh, that was a quick answer. I like that.
I mean, I get answers all the time.
Okay.
First, I'm colorblind.
We
Yes,
have
I
that
know
in our
this.
notes. We have that
I
in
know
our
this is
notes.
green. I do know this is green. Don't you don't have to ask me. I know what color my hat is. You don't have to ask. Secondly, I broke my arm twice in the same spot. The same day I got my cast off the first time, I broke my arm again the second time right away.
Wow. The same day?
Same day. The day I got my cast off, I broke it again.
How'd you break your arm in the first place?
I was big into sports when I was younger. It was during the summer. I went to a Jewish summer camp. Yes, I'm Jewish, and I just saying in case you were that was the next question. I don't know why I made that such a big thing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I went to I played a lot of sports. I had a really good arm. I was a quarterback in football. I was a pitcher in baseball. I was the 3-point shooter in basketball. So I was always known for like, I was a quarterback in football too. So I was like always known for having a good arm.
You're the sharpshooter, bro. The sniper.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so I went to a hockey camp, a rollerblade hockey camp when I was in 3rd grade. And this is the first day of the camp. We're warming up. So I'm chasing some kid with the puck on my rollerblades, fall face first right in front of him.
Oof.
And he rolls over my arm and my arm goes like this. It goes in a U. The bone broke, but it didn't show through my skin. So this is in 3rd grade. My mom got to the hospital and she fainted when she saw my arm. She thought I was an octopus or something. Another just side note. I had a cast on for about 4 or 5 months. The day I got my cast off, my dad kind of like pressured me to go out and rollerblade again because he's like, listen, you're a good hockey player. You should go and get back on your rollerblades and go back and try to rollerblade again and get back into it. So I was like, no, dad, and he kind of pushes me. So I'm like, okay. So I go out and I go rollerblading. And I trip on a stick, and my arm that just got no joke, literally the same day, I fall forward again from a stick. I hit my arm on the corner of a stone step. And I break it again, and another 3 months of a cast.
Dude.
So
that sucks, man.
That's where I got into gaming, right there. That solidified me as a gamer after that.
Wow.
We were rudely interrupted by the interruption of our internet. But we reached an hour, which is normally how long our podcasts usually are. And I feel like I've covered everything I could possibly want to know about Valorant. Truthfully, I'd love to know who you and Jacob, aka our VP of Esports, have been thinking about signing. But I guess I can just ask Jacob that offline so that it doesn't leak.
Yeah, probably for the better.
Do you have players in mind already?
I have been scrimming with some players, and I do have some potential candidates, yes.
You're not just going to wait for like other CSGO players to be fed up and come on over to Valorant?
That sounds like a great thing to me, but...
Oh, shit.
No, but...
we'll figure it out, bro. We'll figure it out. No rush.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, Hiko, man, I really appreciate you having you on. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
There you go.
Like I said at the beginning, man, bring it all back at home. I'm so excited about the future that we have together with 100 Thieves. Hopefully over the next few months, next year, you'll see why I'm so proud of the organization and the people that we work with every single day and the people that make up 100 Thieves, just because I think the culture that our employees have built, I think you'll really love it here. And if you guys aren't familiar with 100 Thieves and you're watching this because Hiko is in the title, welcome, man. I hope you guys enjoy what you see and stick around with us along for this crazy ride that we've been on over the last few years. So, Hiko, if you have any last words, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, the amount of support and just general positivity I've gotten from signing with you guys has been pretty insane. And I don't think it's ever been this insane in any organization I've ever played for. I guess now is a whole new era of esports, but it feels good. Like it feels nice being like accepted, and it feels nice being a part of something that I am proud to put my name on. So, to all the fans, to everybody watching, I do appreciate it, and I hope you keep watching, and I hope you support me through my next endeavor, which is a brand new game, not just a new org, but now a brand new game. And just appreciate the fans. Keep watching, thank you. And also, I'm sure my mom will be watching this. So shout out to my mother. It was a thing in Counter-Strike. My mom will watch every single one of my interviews. She's my biggest fan. This is to you, Mom.
There you go.
Oh, we love that. We love supportive parents in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Mrs. Hiko.
I'm Mama Hiko. How are you? Please,
Mama Hiko probably be better, actually.
Please like the video.
Yeah, please subscribe. We're going to take
subscribe.
care of your son. We gave him a big bag. So if he doesn't get you something nice for your birthday, just know he's capping.
Mm-hmm. She probably doesn't know what capping means. So
he better get you something nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. Remember to check out the links in the description below. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. 5-star review in iTunes always helps us out. I think this was a great time to really talk about and dive into Valorant and our plans as an organization. So hopefully everyone that's been curious has more clarity on what's going to be taking place over the next few weeks, next few months. But we're excited about the future of this game. I actually, now that we've had time to talk about it, I'm excited to play the game more. I know I've been stuck on Warzone, but I'd love to play some more Valorant. But we appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I'll let Jack say goodbye this time. Just say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you guys later.